Hello out there, and thank you so much for joining us for today's SEJ webinar. If you don't know me, I'm Heather Campbell. I'm the VP of Marketing and Sales here at SEJ. Excited that you've chosen to spend your time here with us. I am here with Jeff Schwartz. Jeff, did I get that last name right? Did I
Yep,
pronounce it?
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. He's the founder and CEO at Reviewly.ai. Jeff, this is your first SEJ webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm excited to be here. Excited to work with you guys on this.
Yeah, us too. So we're going to be talking to you about local SEO and visibility and how to get clients into those AI results. So real quick, I'm going to go through some housekeeping and then I'm going to turn it over. If you need closed captioning, is the CC in the top right of your screen. Give that a click. We will have time for Q&A at the end of Jeff's presentation. So if you have questions, you can either leave them in the chat or leave them in the Q&A tab. If you leave a question in the chat and you notice it disappears, it's probably because I moved it to the other tab. Once you get to the Q&A tab, though, if you see a question that you like, you can give it a little thumbs up, and that'll let us know to front load those. Before you leave today's webinar, we're going to drop a survey on you. If you can take a minute to take that, it just lets us know how today's webinar went and gives you the opportunity to suggest future topics if there's something you're specific that you're looking for. There's little emojis at the bottom, so if Jeff says something you like, make sure you raise the roof, give him get a little bit of love. Don't spam them. We've had to turn them off on people before, so I'm not afraid to turn them off if we need to. I see people in the chat doing what they're supposed to be doing. Let us know where you're coming in from. Jeff, where are you based out of?
I'm actually in San Diego, California now. I just moved from Scottsdale, Arizona about 6 months ago. So I'm in nice little 70-degree California today.
Nice. Yeah, we're like 80s here in West Virginia, and I am loving it today. Like we could use a little bit of this. So awesome. All right. Well, everybody is getting acclimated, and I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back at the Q&A. Jeff, they're all yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Heather. And thanks everybody that joined us today as we go through. I'm going to click over to the first slide and make sure that we're moving as we get in. I see a couple of folks from New Jersey. That's actually where I grew up. I saw Hal and I saw Southern New Jersey. I actually grew up on the Jersey Shore. So hello to you guys and everybody around the world. Congratulations for joining us. And thank you so much for coming on today. We're going to talk something that is near and dear to my heart as an agency owner, as a software entrepreneur. Local SEO has changed in the last year and a half for us, and the way that we implement it, the way that we look at local SEO and AI visibility. So we're going to talk from like an agency perspective today of how to get your local clients into AI results. And this was a big pain point for me for a very long time, trying to figure out like, how does this actually work? What do we need to do? And over the last several months and even the last couple of weeks, some of our biggest contractors and vendors and folks that we work with have all come back and said, what you're talking about on this call has truly made a difference for our clients. And I'm happy to bring it to you and just kind of show you exactly what we've been doing behind the scenes and how it can help your business, your clients, and how to get your clients ranked on AI search results. So over the last year or so, search behavior has really changed. AI is becoming the recommendation layer for how search results are presented. And the click is no longer where the decisions begin. I got a yup from Jared in the chat, just saw that all big, right? The old model that we used to talk about, and look, I've got folks on our team that are the SEO folks. This is the layer that comes above your traditional SEO. It used to be like rank page one, earn the click, win the customer, all that great stuff. Well, the new reality here is that AI is actually going out and filtering before the click happens, okay? The visibility and the work that you've done so far as a local SEO is no longer truly enough. And the question that we've been asking ourselves for our own company, we've been asking for our clients is, will AI recommend this business, right? And you've got to be able to put yourself in play as an agency offering a service that has the capability to recommend your clients from there. Because what we found was that businesses that were better are being ignored, okay? weaker competitors that are out there are getting recommended because AI is looking for signals to show that this business should be talked about because of a couple of key things. And it's all built on signals, not the quality of service of the business. So this is where marketing matters. This is where we come in as agencies. So we've seen clients with fewer reviews, weaker SEO, even a website that you're wondering how are they showing up? Why are they being recommended? It's because AI understands the entity of that business and what they are and what they're actually doing from there. What you're looking to do today, more than ever, is to provide clarity of who you are, what you service, where you actually provide that service, and provide those signals to AI. And there's a very specific way that you're able to do it that used to be a commodity, but now it's becoming the forefront of what really helps shape the recommendations of AI. So AI doesn't necessarily recommend the best businesses. We just talked about that. Okay. What does it do then? Well, it recommends the businesses that it understands best. Think of AI as like a pattern recognition engine. It's out there. Okay. Here's what it's looking for. It's looking for a couple of big key things. Consistency across platforms. 10 years ago, we used to all talk about name, address, phone number, all the citations, all the directories, all had to match exactly. And that's still true. But if you take that thinking and you now apply it to AI search, is it relevant to the query of that person, of what they're trying to solve, the problem that they're actually trying to solve right now? Can AI find them a solution? And you can do that through structured contextual signals. And you need to do that on a regular basis to show AI that you're engaging and that you're actually a trusted entity or trusted business that can actually be providing a service that's out there. So you want to look at it as like, what's the equation for AI confidence? It's clarity, consistency, and providing context from there. Those are some of the biggest things. If you took anything away from this, look at that and go, how do I provide AI the confidence to recommend myself or my clients? Now, where do LLMs actually learn about a business? And this is where we spend a lot of time going out there and looking, trying to find what's the best possible way for a small business owner to create trust with AI. Okay. And what we found was that reviews have become a key foundation to AI trust infrastructure. It actually provides one of the richest business data sets that are out there because it's talking about the business for a couple of key factors. Okay. Number one, real customers are talking about the business. Most of the time, they're natural, unscripted descriptions of the services, their outcomes, the overall experience working with that business from there. And because they're talking about the business, this profile, the Google Business Profile, is constantly updating, right? They're receiving fresh signals that reflect the current business activity and relevance of the services they provide in the local area. It's location to context. So if you start talking about the areas that business services in the reviews, in the review responses, AI can start to map that to local search intent. And because all of this is based around how people search, behavior-based results, it is grounded in those real purchase decisions for the business. And this is what AI really takes as a trust layer. It looks at the overall site. It looks at who's talking about the business, who's talking about it recently from there, and then what's the behavior of those individuals as we go in. We've really talked about reviews over the last several years and maybe commoditized it a little bit, to be completely honest with you, up until AI 2-3 years ago. Because Reviews used to be great. You have a rating. Okay, cool. You have more reviews. We're basically helping the Google business profile rank. We're getting it into the top 3. But what it does now is a shift. Okay. Reviews on a Google business profile for your clients, for your agency, creates infrastructure for AI to understand exactly who you are and what you do. Every review, every response. Well, I don't know why that did that. Every review, every response, where the business operates and who you actually serve, and it creates trust. Because if you're talking about the same services in the same area and people are having the same great experiences, AI now sees that as a trust signal. Reviews are no longer just reputation management. Okay. They're helping create AI visibility, and you can create an infrastructure around that for yourself and for your clients as you go through. Now, let's talk about what AI actually uses to decide who they're going to recommend from there. It's looking for patterns of trust. Okay. There are 3 signal layers that help drive the recommendations. Number 1, reviews. These are the identity signals that people are talking about this business. People are interacting from there. Okay. Review responses. Give me a little heart if your clients are responding to every single review that comes in. Because if they're not, this is a huge opportunity for you right now. We'll talk about that in the signal portion. Because when you go in and people are responding to the reviews, only 1 in 4 businesses right now are responding to the reviews. And a lot of times they're missing out on that. You have an opportunity to reinforce that signal from the business right there in your review responses. And then activity. Real, recent, relevant is what I talk about. Activity. This is really the heartbeat for the business and the Google business profile. These are layered on top of the traditional, typical SEO that we're doing for our clients. And if you miss these layers, the business can remain invisible to AI because it doesn't have the signals it needs to trust that it can be recommending that business as you go through. So let's talk about these different signal layers that are out there. Reviews. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat for me if you offer a reputation or review service for your clients. Put a 0 if you don't. Okay. Now, reviews are identity signals for AI. Okay. They're no longer just about what people think about the business. The way that we now look at reviews compared to just 2 years ago, okay, is that they are training data for AI. This is the simplest, easiest, fastest way for you to actually get some AI trust signals and results for your clients. About 50-50 here for folks that are offering review services for their clients. Okay. This is training data. Okay. Every single review that posts, and we're just going to talk about the Google business profile because it's where 70% of all reviews sit, a little bit more than that. It actually teaches the AI what service was performed, where it happened, the geolocation, what outcome occurred, and then what type of customer was involved. Now, if these reviews are generic, they don't have any context in them. Maybe they're not location-based or service-based. They're weak signals. But the more specific they are, the stronger the identity of that profile is for AI to see it, understand exactly who they are and what they do, and recommend that business as they go through. Now, this is the most important slide on the entire presentation. Okay. I harp this in my business to all my customers, all of my clients. Review responses are the most overlooked local SEO asset by not only the agencies, but in many cases, the business owners as well. And a lot of business owners completely waste them because only 1 in 4 actually respond to the reviews that they receive. And a lot of them, especially when I'm talking to them on a demo for Reviewly and things like that, go, oh yeah, we respond. And we go and look and they're like, thanks. Okay, well, that's not a true response. And you're actually missing out on some really valuable things that you can do. Because if you just say, thanks so much for the review, it's generic. There's no real signal value to AI, and it learns nothing new about the business. However, when it comes to a strategic response, thank you for trusting our team with your HVAC repair in Scottsdale. We specialize in fast diagnostics, same-day service across the Phoenix metro area. A strategic response reinforces the service keywords, the context of the city that they're in, and the expertise. This is what helps feed the LLMs. This is what helps feed AI search to recommend those small businesses. Chris just said, exactly. So glad you mentioned this aspect. Yeah, this is something that I've been talking about for years, but it is more important today than ever before because of AI. I'm going to talk about something with that here in a little bit, Chris, as well, Christopher. Signal layer number 3, activity. Okay. Authority signals. AI doesn't care what happened 6 months ago. It has to be recent, 6 hours, 6 days, right? Maybe 6 weeks. It cares about what's happening right now. Fresh reviews. I used to say real, recent, relevant, the 3 R's, okay? Recent signals that the business is actually servicing customers and that they're alive and kicking, right? They're doing something, they're participating. Fresh responses, ongoing reinforcement to those review responses that, yes, first of all, it's a free signal for the business, for the Google Business Profile for activity, but it also enforces the service context and the location relevance. And then being consistent. Think of it like the heartbeat signal, right? You want to have it going constantly. It shows Google, it shows the LLMs and the AI search engines that the business is active, relevant, and trustworthy. So these are the 3 signal layers that we need to be feeding to AI. Now, as local SEOs, folks that have worked on websites, individuals that work with small businesses, we all do keyword research, right? But now it has a new purpose, okay? It's not just about rankings anymore. It's about recommendations of the business. Keywords now need to live inside customer conversations about the business. So we're going to talk about just reviews today and the Google Business Profile, but think about where your clients could be having conversations about their business, not just on the web pages of their site. Some of the biggest and fastest and most impactful ways to help your clients, even your own business, are with reviews and responses. That gives Google Business Profile activity. And by using just natural customer language, it helps train the AI because the AI learns from how customers describe the business, not how we as marketers optimize the pages from there. I think I got a heart or a little horn thing from there. It's no longer about just gaming the system for the pages from there. So let's talk a little bit about weak versus strong signals, okay? So same review intent. For all intents and purposes, the same business, completely different AI impact. Okay, this is how you can take a review and make it valuable to the business. That natural context will beat generic language every time. Great service, highly recommend, would recommend this business. All the AI learns from a simple review like that, even though it's 5 stars, it's positive sentiment, nothing else. The person's talking about the business. That's all you've got. Zero context of service, location, or the outcome. A strong signal would be, hey, Dr. Patel's dental team in Austin fixed my crown same day after an emergency. Painless, fast, professional. I've been searching for a reliable dentist near South Congress for years. Now, this one's maxed out, right? Specialty, location, service type, urgency, context, and trust. Okay. You're not stuffing keywords into reviews. What you're looking to do is you're trying to give the specialty of the business, that was actually the service that was provided, the location, and some trust signals from there. This is helping AI connect customer language to real businesses that are out there. So here's the system behind AI recommendations. First of all, you want to start generating the signals, consistent reviews that teach AI what the business does and who it serves. And we talked about those 3 different signal layers. Structure, context, okay? Strategic responses that reinforce service, the location, and the expertise. That's going to be key. And because you have the right to respond to every single review and the ability to, you can actually put that in every single one of your responses and do this consistently. Okay. Ongoing activity will tell AI that the business is active and trustworthy. So, how do you do this? Let's talk about the manual framework. Okay. Before you get into automation, AI workflows, anything like that, let's discuss how this should work for a business at the ground level. I like to start with the basics. Okay. Master them manually and then build systems that will consistently scale from there. Number 1, identify the keywords. Build the trust signal vocabulary that AI should associate with the business. Okay. Here's how you do that. Think service, the location, and any modifiers for that business. Simple, nothing difficult here. Okay. What are the exact services that the business performs, right? Crown replacement is an exact service, not just dentistry, which would be more generic as a category. Location modifiers, neighborhoods, landmarks, right? We talked about South Congress, which is an area in Austin, which is very specific. So if somebody's searching near me in South Congress, they're going to get a result from there. Intent modifiers, okay? Think of this like for your home service companies, HVAC, same day, 24/7 service, trusted, local, reliable. But if you think service, location, and modifiers, you can actually get some really great keywords for the business. Now, you want to leverage AI to help generate better reviews. Because what I found was that a lot of customers will tell you that they're happy, but things tend to drop off, specifically when they have to go and paste something and put into Google. Because number 1, I don't want to take the extra step, or I just don't know what to write. Now, you can't be forcing reviews, right? It's against terms of service and it doesn't really get you a great review anyway, but you can absolutely leverage and use tools like AI to help improve the context of the service or location, right? And customers to help describe their experience naturally. So some ethical prompting, right? Asking immediately after a positive experience, check out, just close a deal on a home, restaurant, they're getting the check for the meal, check out service at the front desk from a massage, remind them of the specific service that was performed, mention the location naturally in the ask, and just make it easy. Send them a review link from there. Okay. Guided context, helping the customer understand what's going to help the business. Because a lot of people are willing to help. They just don't know how, right? It will help create a stronger AI signal without violating platform policies. Now, this is key. You want to respond strategically. Got a lot of hearts coming in from there, which is awesome. Thank you. Respond strategically. Okay. What does that mean? Well, as the agency that manages the Google Business Profile or the owner that manages their Google Business Profile, responses are full editorial rights. Okay. You get editorial control of every single review response to help with AI visibility. This is a huge secret that is not really a secret, but no one's properly doing it. it's such a small percentage that's out there for business owners, because every single response is an opportunity for the business owner, whether the customer helped with AI or not, to help reinforce services, expertise, and location. So even if you receive a generic review, you still got one. You can now, with your editorial control, leverage AI to write a response to reinforce the services, the expertise, and the location. Name the specific service that was performed for that customer, not just the generic "thanks for your business." Reference the location. Include city, neighborhood, natural things that people in the area are looking for. Like for me, I live in San Diego, we would say Carmel Valley. Signal expertise. Add one sentence that demonstrates authority or specialized knowledge for the business, or if it's like an emergency plumber, 24-hour, 24/7 service from there. This is a huge key factor for helping not only train AI, but getting a leg up on your competition. In addition to that, a lot of folks miss out on, we call them silent reviews. Somebody will leave you 5 stars, but not a single line of text. You have the opportunity to take that 5-star review, even if it has zero context, and turn it into an AI trust signal. Because a lot of customers leave a star rating, but no words, and that signal often gets wasted. Think of it like a chess move, okay? This is an opportunity for the business to help train AI and respond to that customer and show other customers that who you are, the service that you provide, where you provide that service, and provide the context to AI as well. So there should be no review that goes unanswered. Now, if you're talking about manually, systemize this to ensure consistent activity from there. Consistency compounds trust over time. One great week doesn't move the needle, okay? Months of consistency does. If you're a local agency or a local SEO, you understand that you're not going to rank overnight, okay? You need to continually train the systems. So have your customers or your clients ask on Monday, reply to all the reviews on Wednesday, and then do a cleanup and audit on Friday. It's a weekly cadence. It's easy to follow for yourself, for your clients. You'll go out there, but without it, without having a cadence in place, signals decay and AI confidence slows down from there. With AI visibility, these signals will stack over time, week after week, review after review, response after response, and the trust profile will grow stronger. Over the next several months, you can create a trust moat that competitors will struggle to close because you've got history. The 3 different signals are working, and it's compounding the advantage for your clients. Now, why do most businesses fail at this? The problem isn't knowledge, it's consistency. Most businesses already know that reviews matter, but life gets in the way. They stop asking, the review volume drops, or they forget to respond. Responses go unanswered for weeks or even months, and then the activity eventually just kind of dies off. I think of this like January, New Year's resolutions, people go to the gym, and then by February, the gym's empty again, okay? That's how reviews have tend to work without a system. Manual doesn't scale for an agency. The system works beautifully for one client. You hit 5, you're pretty much okay. You hit 10 plus clients, that manual execution starts to break down. Inconsistent weeks. Signal starts to decay because you're not following the process, and your clients start to lose that competitive advantage in the space. So what you need to set up is an always-on AI trust signal engine. Consistency without the manual effort. This is where automation starts to become infrastructure. It's not a shortcut. It's a trust signal engine that runs every week across every client without dropping the ball. Now, when you set up a system that actually can help remove the client from the process, that visibility starts to compound. The AI systems gain confidence, and businesses begin appearing more consistently across AI generated recommendations, which is what we're looking for. Review volume increases the visibility of the business on the Google business profile, as well as in the AI search, because there's more context and it's trusted. Response rates reinforce those signals. The activity of that Google business profile is rewarded. The heartbeat is there, and AI can gain confidence that that business is the obvious recommendation in the area. So what does it look like? So same business with different signals, okay? If there's sporadic reviews, little context, basic responses like thanks, Google business profile activity that hasn't been touched for months, AI is not even sure if the business is open, the confidence is low, and it probably isn't going to recommend the business. However, if you implement these signal layers into your clients' businesses, you'll be consistently recommended because the reviews are rich in the service context. They happen on a regular period. The strategic responses help reinforce location and expertise. Active, consistent Google business profile, all of that combined gives you a higher chance of showing up when somebody looks for a business near them. AI recommendations are consistent and growing, and you start to build that moat for your clients. So let's talk about some important takeaways from today. Okay. The shift is already happening, and it's been happening for the last year or so. And as an agency, I saw a lot of you had one or zeros in the chats before. If you adapt early to this process and you really buy in on what an AI trust signal is and can do, and leverage reviews and review responses for your clients, AI will start to recommend those clients with confidence, because the clearest, most consistent signal will win. Reviews are no longer just vanity. I've got the highest star rating and the most reviews for their business, because of how AI recommends a business entity and how it looks across the web. It's looking for real, consistent, contextual activity about the business, the services they offer, where they're located, and any specialties. If you leverage reviews and review responses to help feed those signals, that business is going to be consistently showing on the AI search when somebody goes out there, because you're going to have a compounding advantage as you build that moat for your clients week by week as we go in. So what we've done is we've actually built an AI trust signal playbook for you, show you exactly how agencies like my own and other businesses are operationalizing AI visibility, tools, templates, and systems that you can implement immediately. And we'll actually put a pop-up here on the screen. If you went to Reviewly.ai/SEJ, we're going to walk you through everything that we're using right now to have clients show up in the AI search engines and to get them the best results on their Google business profile from there. I want to leave you guys with a quote before we get to the Q&A. Okay. The businesses that are winning right now in AI search aren't gaming the algorithm. Nothing we're doing here is gaming the system or outside of a white hat strategy or technique. We're building stronger trust signal systems, and the agencies that understand that and get that first are going to dominate local SEO over the next few years. I've got a client where they were nowhere shown in the area. They're a national company. Now they're showing up higher and higher, and they're starting to show up through ChatGPT. They're actually getting results and calls and closes and deals because AI is now recommending the business. And one of the key factors that we took in to have that client actually start showing, and we can track it back to where those leads are coming from, are exactly what I showed you today. So Heather, I know we have some questions and a lot of folks put in some longer questions and things like that. do you want to go through and we can look at some of the questions that have come in and I can answer them for the folks that are on here?
I do. We have a great set of questions to get us started. If you guys have any other ones, please throw them up there. So Julie asks for reviews. Are Google the most powerful, useful versus like Yelp and et cetera? And I saw a couple questions around here. Is this all for Google or does this go into other platforms? So what's your insights here?
So 75 or 73% of all reviews for local businesses are on Google. Yelp is a distant second. And when you look at it in the local area, the near me searches, folks are searching on Google, that's where it's going to be pulling the data from. Now, do I say ignore the other ones? No, but they are something that you should potentially be paying attention to as you go through. I have clients that use Trustpilot as well, outside the US, TripAdvisor. But if you were to have one of the options, the number one that you should be looking at is Google for the Google business profile, because that's where most of the local business reviews are. When I had my previous company and we offered more than just Google business profile reviews, what we found was that folks would offer those other ones like Yelp or Facebook when Facebook did reviews back then, not just the thumbs up, thumbs down. Everybody always put Google first. Every single person. No one ever put anything above Google. So that is the primary one that I would focus on. And then if you want to diversify a little bit, yeah, sure, depending on the business type from there, but that is the key in the primary. You do want to be feeding reviews to as many platforms as you can, but starting out and the most strongest one you should be looking at is the Google business profile.
So Sterling, yeah, it was a good question. Thanks for that, Jeff. So Sterling asks for reviews. What about businesses that need to apply by privacy guidelines like HIPAA? Yep. Is a weaker response better than no response?
That's a great question. Funny enough, I was actually on with a telehealth medical company about 20 hours ago for a guy in Tampa actually talking about this stuff. Yes, obviously guidelines, HIPAA compliance, and you need to make sure that like you're following those laws and rules here in the US. It would be better to have something generic and have activity than have nothing at all, right? That's the biggest thing. So you want to have at least some sort of activity, even if it's like about the experience. Hey, customer service was great. Staff is really friendly, things like that. Yes, you might not be able to talk about HIPAA level things from there. So you don't add that in there, but that's a touchy subject when it comes to the medical field and things like that. So I've had some psychologists that we worked with as well. And some folks will put what happened and things like that in there, but you don't want to precede or you do not want to help them right along those lines. Focus more on the experience, the availability, things like that. But having at least some sort of activity is better than none at all.
David asks, what is the most underutilized tech move when it comes to ranking in AI? That might be a little bit broad now that I throw that up there.
Yeah, no, okay. So David says, what's the most underutilized tech move when it comes to ranking in AI? Honestly, it's probably AI to help write responses to the reviews. Only 1 in 4 business owners are leveraging the responses to the reviews. And then you take that. Many that actually do only write the basics like thanks, great to see you, things like that. And there's no contextual, AI training with that. You have full editorial rights of the response, so you can write whatever you want. I think that's probably the most underutilized tech move, if you want to put it that way, for ranking in AI is the responses and leveraging AI to write a really good crafted out response.
Abney asked, do you think it's still appropriate to strategically revise our clients' responses to previous GBP reviews?
Yes. You want to have what we teach when somebody comes in and I consult and advise is, let's say that you have 200 reviews or 20 reviews and they haven't responded to any of them. That is an opportunity for future customers to see how you interact, and it's still a signal for Google. So go back in and do a couple a week and respond to all the previous reviews for that client, and then work with them to then build upon what you just started and are training with, so that every new review that comes in, they within 48 hours are posting a response to that review. That's going to be key. It's going to forge a deeper customer bond. It's going to show the activity on the Google business profile, and it's going to help improve the overall conversion. So it is not going to hurt in any way, shape, or form by showing them that, hey, look, depending on the number of reviews and things that you have, go out there and do little by little. Or if it's only like 7, just go and respond to those 7 reviews and then keep on top of it from there. Put a system in place. Consult your clients on what they should be doing. We talked about a manual system. We talked about some automated ways in the playbook as well to be able to do that.
Okay, I got a couple around home improvements. I'm gonna batch these.
Sure.
Greg asks, lots of pictures for Google Business Profile. Should I be uploading new pictures weekly? Does this help?
Yes, it does. And it's activity on the Google Business Profile. So what I would recommend is have a day of the week, or a person, when a job is done, upload that content to that Google Business Profile. So yeah, you want to update and you want to show activity that is alive and kicking. Because if it's a home improvement service, you're not doing 7 deals or 7 new clients a week unless it's a massive company. So anytime you have the ability to add activity to the profile, do it, right? And you don't have to batch. Let's say you have 30 photos, do a handful 3 times a week. So if you have 20 photos, do 7 on Monday, 7 on Thursday, and Sunday do the remaining 6.
That's perfect, because that actually answers Jared's question, who says he works for a home remodeler who doesn't have the opportunity to get consistent reviews. So instead of putting everything out at one time, batch them out.
Yeah. I consult with home service companies, insurance companies, restaurants, like basically every type of business that's legal. I've worked with in some way, shape, or form. The biggest thing here is find a way to create activity on that profile, because if you are doing home remodeling and it's one guy truck, he can maybe do 1 to 4 jobs a month. So space out your activity from there, and then definitely make sure that you get the review. Use review devices like an NFC business card where they can tap or scan when it's closed the deal, you're getting the invoice, and they're all happy. Hey, take some pictures of you guys happy in your home with your new kitchen counter and remodel. Hey, do you mind if we post this online? Cool. Then share it to Facebook. Like, there's so many different things you can do. Just think of like, how can I take this and stretch it out over the next week or 2 weeks?
Yeah, take past jobs and make compilations. The only reason I'm looking for contractors right now. I have been all over their business profiles, and some of them do some really cool things. They're doing some things with videos, and they're older remodels, but they're making it fresh. So, okay. So Julie asked, and I've seen versions of this, and I know that you did touch on it, but how can you naturally ask a customer to be specific in reviews? It feels awkward. Somebody else said they don't know how to instruct their employees to ask for them.
Yep. So what we do at Reviewly.ai is we actually have the ability to put keywords in the system of the services and things like that into the system to help draft. We have AI assisted drafts that will help the customer write a better review. So what I would say in this case, if you're doing it manually, Julie, is just say, hey, would you mind mentioning that you were here for a crown replacement today? Something like that. Just pick one thing, not, hey, you're at South Congress and getting a crown replacement and this other thing. You're just going to blow their mind. They're not going to know what to do. Pick one thing. Hey, would you mind leaving us a review about your crown replacement today, or about your emergency tire repair today? And then that will trigger them to go, that's at least the keyword that's in there if you can't leverage a system like Reviewly.ai.
All right. I like Jonathan's question. We're going to take this. Does the hack of using Google Maps every day to travel to work actually work when you follow the directions? Does it help your SEO?
Interesting. I don't travel a lot.
I've never heard of that. So I didn't know if maybe that's something out there that I didn't know.
Look, I've heard of the take photos, your competitors, all that stuff in the past, and there's geodata. Honestly, I keep things simple, Jonathan. If I'm going this deep into it, I'm going to go hire a very big and expensive team to do those things. I honestly don't know. And I don't see why it would specifically help you. Google's pretty freaking smart. I would focus on something else rather than this for the business if it was me personally.
Okay, Gil asks, if you service nationally, what do you do with the location identifier in the review response?
Okay, so it depends. You're not going to say, hey, we move nationwide, or I have an insurance company that's a large insurance company that they're nationwide, but they actually have 4 physical locations from there. So it depends on the number of offices. If they have multiple offices, we're actually doing this right now. I have 3 Google Business profiles I have to build out for a client that has 3 other locations on the West Coast. So we can start generating reviews in those areas. If they have that, great. If they don't, and it's basically service based around the entire US, you can kind of skip out the location identifier, because you're probably not going to get somebody in Nashville and somebody in Salem, Massachusetts are not going to be looking at the same type of result, and it's not going to serve that up. Now focus more on the product, the service, and that kind of context, not necessarily location in this case. Not every, it's local SEO. Not everything's going to be perfect. It's not going to fit in every single box. Maybe it's why I like it, because you always have to solve a little problem here or there. Not everything fits into the 1, 2, 3 box all the time.
And that's where testing and playing comes into focus. So Chris asks, how do you explain to your clients the ROI on GPP posts when there are no metrics?
Cool. I don't. What I tell them is, hey, look, we can track the metrics knowing that you're getting leads coming through ChatGPT. I don't just do one little small specific service for my clients. We do lead generation. And at the end of the day, either you have more phone calls and leads for your business or you don't. This is part of that entire package from there. I don't get into the nitty gritty of, oh, we're on the grid here and now we're not, or this changed, or you went from number 2, number 1, because you're basically putting the value that they perceive you with based on something you can't 100% control. What I can control is there's different ways for me to generate leads for this business. So I frame a results-based package of, here's what I can do for you. We can help generate, based on every 100 customers that you put through the door and ask for a review, we can generate 15 to 25 new reviews. So that's a way that I could position that from there if you follow the system. So there's ways that we look at the ROI, the value provided. And if you're getting into GBP posts and those things, you're looking at the wrong way of framing it to your clients. And I would argue that bundle that into an overall package and just make that ancillary in that case.
Okay, I like Mario's question, but we're going to skip the first question. It's 2 different questions. So we're just going to go down to the bottom when we already got the top one. So he asks, I was curious if a client who had a positive experience, but did not leave a review, did not actually leave a Google review, but advocates about the brand on platforms like Reddit, who would that also help with local trust?
That is a great question, Mario. And yes, it can, because the LMs are looking at contextual conversations. And we have a subreddit for our company and for our clients' companies as well, where people talk about our services. We go in, we monitor. So yeah, so if that would be kind of strange that you wouldn't leave a Google review, but you're in there like being a complete brand ambassador on Reddit. But yes, it does help because it'll talk about the products and services. And I actually wasn't using Reddit a lot for the last 10 years. And I've recently, in the last 6 months to 9 months, have come back to it because it plays such a major part in feeding AI. Because what do the AI search engines want? They want people talking about the business. It's a public forum. It's a very high rated and ranked site. So yeah, I would say it's going to help with local trust.
Christina asks, what is the best way to handle negative reviews?
That's a great question, Christina. So I actually talk to the business owners that see this. And 10 years ago, no one, like when we tried to sell reviews and reputation manager, like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to get a negative review. Who cares? It's the opportunity for you to train the AI signal. But it's also when a negative review comes in, we talk to business owners about being pragmatic and responding based on the situation that happened. This is your public forum to show that no matter what's going to happen, you can actually help solve the problem. As a matter of fact, one of my friends is the manager for Cabo Shark Dive. And they had a lady that came in from Europe, and they're not used to paying VAT, which is a tax. And it was very clear on the website, the entire process, everything. And they can't control whether you see sharks or not, right? You're out in the ocean. So she had a good experience with sharks, but then left a 2-star or 1-star review about getting charged tax. And he went in there and pragmatically responded and said, hey, look, we had a discussion on the phone. It's clear on our website. We understand that like part of your culture and where you came from, that's not typical, but it's what we have to do here to charge. And he actually had another business owner from the US that was coming down, book specifically with him, and told him on the phone, we're booking with you because of how you handled that negative review and how you were very clear with the customer. You try to resolve it publicly, and you can also feed context into those reviews as well, right? Hey, we're sorry that you had a less than favorable experience. Here's our contact, here's our outreach information, making sure that like that number is able to be resolved. And it'll help improve conversions down the road, because what do we really look at if I'm looking at reviews? I want to see a couple of the positive, but then you go to the 1s and the 2 stars and like, well, what happened? What went wrong? What did somebody like? What did they not like? And if you can see that the business owner is actually attempting to solve the problem, I know as a consumer that if something does go wrong, they're at least willing to try to make it right. And you can publicly do that by responding to negative reviews in a pragmatic way and showing how the business owner is actually willing to help or reach out after the fact.
Great stuff. We have a couple more questions. I will say, so Andy, yes, we are all dog people. Jeff and I were talking about it before. He's got 3 of them.
He's got 3 over there. I was like, are those
is what he said, but yes, if I'm moderating, there's a good chance that my guy's in the background. And I will say, so Jeff, just so you know, David said this presentation has been super helpful. He's been getting asked a lot by his potential clients, and he's looking forward to checking out Reviewly. Paul asks, yes, we are going to send the presentation, the slides out, so watch your inbox. Sometimes that hits you today, sometimes it's tomorrow morning. It just depends on when the video is done. Okay, let's grab maybe 1 or 2 more. So Christopher,
sure. I got as much time as you guys need. So
Christopher says, I hate it when I take the time to write a good review, good or bad, and the brand responds with 1 or 2 words, right? It immediately kills my trust and confidence.
Yep.
Especially if it's a positive review where he's gone out of his way. So I think AI is starting to pick up on this. A weak reply to any review is a weak signal about the company. Are you seeing that? Like, do they need to be more verbose in those replies?
Yes, you need to. And here's one thing that Reviewly does really well, and it's the only company in the world that does this as of right now, is we actually text the owner the review as it comes in right there on their mobile phone while they're on the go. And we offer an AI-assisted review draft that mirrors back the keywords that were actually in the review. And obviously, we talked about context, location, things like that. And then look at the review, or you can text back our system without having to log in, the review response, and then post it right to the Google Business Profile from your SMS. That's one of the biggest key factors of us and how we use AI trust signals and respond to those reviews, because I hate that too, right? You get a thanks or a thumbs up. Like, you didn't really look at the review or respond. But if you had a mirrored keyword reply to what you had mentioned about the business, the service, and your overall experience, and all you had to do as a business owner was just type in yes on a text message, approve the message, and post to the Google Business Profile, everybody wins from there. The customer feels heard, you've actually done your job, or you can just write back whatever you want from there on the text message and then push submit, and it goes straight to the Google Business Profile for that owner.
All right. I'm just going to throw this up there. We talked a little bit about tracking. Jared said there's always, tracking with UTMs. UTMs, do you suggest using them, within?
We use them in our company. I use them for every single one of my clients. So I usually use a backup system as well. One of my clients, we do about 1,000, 1,500 leads a month for like ads. This is outside of the space, but everything's tracked. And there's a second layer of tracking just in case. And I've had it happen where things go down, but the second layer actually caught all the data and we were safe. So we didn't lose a $5,000 spend day because something went down.
Nice. I think we got through everything. So yeah, track everything. UTM's on everything.
Yep.
We share the campaign name. We make sure everybody's got the same stuff. Yes, UTM everything. If you look at our URLs, you'll see them every time you click something out of the site or in the site.
That's right. So
all right, Jeff, this was great stuff. Chat was finding all of this very helpful. Peter says really usable. So Christopher says yes, UTM. So with that, I think I'm going to let everybody go. But Jeff, before I let you go, tell the people where to find you. Really simple, really easy. We've put this guide, our AI recommendation playbook, on our website for you. It's public. You don't have to opt in to get it or anything like that. You get it for the download. We'll redirect you after here. You can find us at Reviewly.ai. And to get the guide, it's Reviewly.ai/SEJ. Make it very simple for you. Go grab the guide, go through. If you're interested in our software, go through, give it a trial, book a demo, but we'll reach out to everybody that was on this call as well. And we'll see you guys all on the next one. Thank you so much, Heather. I appreciated it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing all this. Everybody will get the recording and the slides later. So with that, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you for the next SEJ webinar. Bye, all. Thanks, Jeff. Take care.